We are now on patch 14.8 and here's all the best comps to play if you want to climb the ladder this patch. And we're starting out by looking at Reroll, Kindred and Gnar. So in this comp we are looking for 4 in the 2 main traits, and we do also have a few other traits. But the main thing is that we want Gnar to 3-star, and the same thing goes with Kindred. On this board we are mainly playing around Gnar, and he wants Bloodthirster and 2 Titans. We could also go for other bruiser items like Hand of Justice and even Edge of Night, and we could also go for Steric if we have to. The second most important unit is obviously Kindred, and he wants a blue buff, Morello and AP. Tank items will go on Ornn, and other bruiser items will go on Kayn. Do we have an emblem, we will put it on Kayn as well, and it is quite good since we are able to play 4 in the trait before we are finding Ornn. This gives us more time to hit the 3-star units because we are stronger early in the game, so we are able to get to 3-star units before we have to go up in levels. The best augments for this comp is a specific one, an emblem, or buffing up the Titans. So what you want to do is to get to level 6 and try to roll for this board minus Kayn and Ornn. You want to have at least a 2-star Gnar and a 2-star Kindred, get to 50 gold and use all gold above 50 to roll to hit the units. These two are the most important units, but are you ending up getting a 3-star Shen or a 3-star Aatrox or Rek'Sai, then you can take that as well. But as soon as you're getting these guys to 3-star or you start getting low on health, you have to go up in levels. If you hit them to 3-star, you have a really good chance of topping the game. If you're only getting one of them, you are fine. And if you're getting low on health and you don't have them to 3-star, you might end up going a bit lower in the game. That also means you have to be aware if you are contested or not. And this is not the only board that you can play. You can also play around Kindred as the main carry. If you want to do that, this is the board that you're looking for. Then you are not playing Shen and you are not playing Aatrox. Instead we have Thresh and we do also have Syndra. That means we are mainly skipping the Ghost trait, but we do have Faded instead. And what we want to do here is to combine either Kindred with Syndra or Kindred with Thresh. Items are similar. Instead of focusing on having Kayn as the third carry, we want to put Thresh in as a secondary tank. The augments is more or less similar. We are just having a little bit more bias to playing around Kindred than Gnar. If we are in the position to get to level 9, what we're going to put in is Seer, so we can get 6 into the trait, especially if we're having the emblem. If we don't have the emblem, we could also play something like Sandra instead, but these two units are by far the best one for this comp. Next up, we have the classic Fast 9. So this is the board that you're normally going to play if you're getting to level 9, minus Aurelia. The only low-cost units that we are looking for is Diana, Soraka and Diana. And then we're just going to play around all the 5-cost units plus Ornn. AP, attack speed and mana items will go on Quay and Azir. We'll put tank items on Ornn, bruiser items on Wukong, and the same thing goes for Uzir. He can both use bruiser items, but he can also use tank items. Rakan have started being played as a secondary tank, and if you are in a situation where you want to play around Aurelia, this is the items that you're looking for. Attack speed, crit, and some more damage. Normally we don't play Aurelia, but it is an option now, but it's only something that you're going to play if you're getting her to 2-star and getting items for her as well. Specific items that are quite nice to have is Shift on Azir if we don't have a Spark, Morello on Quay if we don't have a Sunfire Cape in the front line. Edge of Night is really good on Wukong, so we are making sure that he can keep doing damage and CCing, and then making just Ornn as tanky as possible, doing to every time he is casting, he is giving an item to someone close by. Mainly what you want to do is to play the strongest board as you can, get to 50 gold, and as soon as you have 50 gold, you're going to use all gold above 50 to go up in levels, and only stabilize if you have to. Great augments for this is Tiny Titans to give us more time, getting yourself a 3-5 cost, or something like level up, so we're getting up in levels faster. Everything that mentioned experience or gold is quite good for this board, and if you want to learn how to get to level 9, you can watch my full guide here on this channel. Next up we have Dragonlord Kaisa, and this is one of the new Fast 9 boards. So basically what we are playing around is Dragonlords. We also have an extra item from Ink Shadow, and we do also want to play around Kaisa. So the thing is that you want to play a similar style as the normal Fast 9. Here you're more or less always playing around something like Caitlyn, Jax, Aatrox, Sinner, and Shen. And from here just building in whatever fits the board. Try to save as much health as possible and get up in levels fast. You want to try to hit level 8 as fast as possible, playing around all the Dragonlords and also playing another Trickshot unit instead of Azaya to buff up Kaisa. As soon as you get to level 9, start swapping in the 5-cost units and play this full board. When it comes to Ink Shadow items, you can always go in your planner and see what Ink Shadow tattoo that you are getting this game. If it is one of the more attack damage items, you will put them on Kaisa. If it is one of the others, you will put them on Udyr. If you were using one of them on Kaisa, you will obviously only go for 2 AD items. This is your default kit. And you could also put in something like Giant Slayer. Azaya wants similar items, Ornn will hold the tank items, and Udyr will go for the bruiser items. Everything must go. Dragonlord or even another unit in on the board is all great. We are playing a similar style as before, as I mentioned before, but we are also slightly going into putting in and playing around a strong board with a lot of Dragonlords early as possible, and playing around all the Ink Shadows as well. Next up we have Mythic Lilla. And here we are looking for all the Mythic units. So basically what we want to do is to have 7 in the trade. And that means playing every single one of them except Bard. To get faster up in 7 in the trade, we can play around an emblem if it is possible. And that is also why that is a great augment. We could also play something like Magic Wand or even Invoker Crest. So what we're looking for is to stabilize at level 7 and then go up in level 8 as soon as we have a few of the 4-cost units. Get to level 8 and play the full board. And as soon as you're hitting something like Quay or Azir, you will pop them in as well. The reason why Invoker Quest is quite good is due to Azir is giving us the 4 in the trade, but we can get it a little bit before we're hitting him by that crest. Items that we're looking for is mana, especially blue buff, crit, and AP. And then we go for the tank items on Nautilus and other AP items on Azir. If we're getting even more tank items, we will start prioritizing Annie as well. These 2 units is actually just more about who are you getting to 2-star fastest. So are we hitting Annie to 2-star fast? We're just going to put in the tank items over here instead. Are we in this situation where we are getting the augment called Mana Shield, or are just hitting a lot of Invoker units? We could also play the Evoker board at level 9. Then we are not playing all of the Mythic units. Then our board will look like this. This is also something you can transfer into when you get to level 9 and start hitting all of the 5-cost units. It is more or less just taking out the weakest units like Cho'Gath and Kog'Maw and even some Kench. And then you're just gonna pop in something like Udyr and Set, and also putting in Ornn and giving yourself 4 in the trade by having a Loon as well. Next up we have Dragonlord Diana. And here we are playing around Diana and Janna. So what we want to do is to play Dragonlords once again. And if we can play around these 2 traits as well and getting augments that are similar to it, so we're getting more in the trade, we will play this board. So Diana can play all of the tank items, and she can also benefit quite well from Titans. Other tank items will go on Galio, and Janna just want these stacking items as Archangel and Rageblade. The last item will be a Spear of Sojourn, and our strategy is just to hold the front line as long as possible. Meanwhile, Janna is stacking up. We want to reroll at level 6 if possible, and at some point we might want to go to level 7 and do the rest of the rerolling if we have to. But we want to have Janna and Diana to 3-star, and are we getting Zyra to 3-star as well? We will take that. If we're not getting her to 3-star, we can just swap her out by Aurelia in the late game. But are we getting her to 3-star? We will just keep her instead. Get to level 6, get these guys to 2-star at least, get to 50 gold, use all gold above 50, and try to roll and see if you can get them to 3-star. As soon as you're getting them to 3-star, at least Janna, go to level 7, and then you will see if you can hit Diana as well. If you're getting too low on health, you have to go up in levels and stabilize here again. Get to level 9 and play the full board. Next up we have Faded. And once again, if we're having an emblem in the start of the game, this is a board that we can play. So augments, Faded Crest, something where we're getting more units faster, and you have my bow is quite good. You want to play as many of the faded units as possible, and we can get 7 in the trade before we are finding set if we have the emblem. We're looking for tank items for Thresh and Ornn as well. We do also want to have Thresh the 3-star. And then we want attack speed and AD items on Failures and AP and mana items on Syndra. We want to get to level 7 and play this board without set. And then we want to reroll as long as possible to hit these two guys 3-star. Then we want to go up in levels and put in set as well. When we get to level 8, especially if we're having the emblem and are getting set, we will put that in instead of Yasuo. But the last unit that we are playing around is Ashe. So these 3 units, depending on what we are hitting. So we're obviously only going to play 7 in the trade, and that just means play Yasuo if you don't have set, and else you're going to put in set and take out Yasuo. Get Ashe in, so you are getting yourself 2 snipers. What you also can do at level 9 is to play around Amumu as well. So we're getting even more frontline and are also getting 1 more trait for Ashe. Next up we have Trickshot Kaisa. So this is the most popular comp at the moment, and it's what everyone should try to play from the very start of the game if you don't have any specific other comps that you are looking for. It is by far the best one, and its stats is only holding down because there is so many people playing it. And that is also why we're just going to talk a little bit about how we play it while we are contested. So the main thing is that we want to play 4 Bruisers and 4 Trickshots. And we do also have Story View as well, and we do also have Ink Shadow. So the thing is that we're having the Bruisers as the front line. We do have the Trickshots in the back line to do all the damage. And then we have Ink Shadow, so we are getting a free item. And Story Viewers are buffing up our units in the backline by having Kale. We can do the positions like this, so we are buffing the 2 units around Kale here, and put Severe here, so we are getting all the buffs on Kaisa and still have her in the corner. Items that we're looking for is just pure tank items on Galio, and as you can see, if we're getting the tank tattoo, we are putting it on him as well. Silas will hold something like Bloodthirster, Titans, and Spark. Doing 2, he is doing AP damage, and he does do quite a lot of damage. And then we have Kaisa in the backline, where we are putting AD items and also something like Sojourn if needed, especially if we are building up around Teemo. So to get to this board, we want to go and play around Story Weavers and Teemo. And this is something that we're looking for, and then just plus 2 Story Weavers. That could be something like Garen, it could be Riven, and then Severe in the backline. And then we're just going to build around that. That means we already have a Warden from Garen, and we can just put in another Warden unit. That could be something like Jax if we have it to 2-star, or whatever we are hitting. As soon as we are getting to stage 4-1 or 4-2, we want to go to level 8 and roll down for most of this board. That means we are playing all of these units minus Udyr. And that means we want to have 4 in Trickshots and 4 in Bruisers. We can obviously play something like Bard instead of Sire, so we can have 4 in both of these traits without the need of hitting the 5-cost units. So that means your board could look like this at level 8, and as soon as you're having Kaisa and Galio and Silas to 2-star, or at least 2 of them, we can start push level and get to level 9. I would consider trying to hit Kaisa to 2-star before everyone else, and then you can start pushing levels. If you're high on gold and health, you still kind of want to hit it to 2-star instead of just pushing for level 9, because are there other guys hitting the 2-star before you? You will have a hard time hitting it as well. As soon as you're getting a Sire, take out Bard, put it in, and as soon as you get to level 9, put in Udyr and get the free item from Ink Shadow. You can obviously also just be fine playing something like Volibear instead, especially if you can use the Ink Shadow item on Kaisa. Are you getting the Bruiser items, you could also just put them on Silas, but else, yeah, this is more or less it. A specific augment is quite good. Items is nice as well. Doing 2, we need these items on Kaisa. And then we have something like Little Bodies, because we are using quite a lot of 2- and 1-star units, and that buffs up our 4- and 5-cost units. Next up, we have Porcelain Ashe. And this is one of the comps that we really want to get to level 9. So what we're going to do is to play around these units in the mid game. That means minus Lysandra and minus Zed, but playing around these units. If we had the chance to get one of these 2 guys in earlier, we will do that. but it also means that we can play around something like a crest and see if we can 4 in the trait before we are hitting the center. We could also play a specific augment for something like Porcelain or the one for Warden, but else see if you can stabilize at level 7 with these units. A Mumu to 2-star or 3-star is doing quite well, but also getting Ashe to 2-star at level 8 is quite good. So place these units and see as soon as you can to put in Set and the center, get up in levels and get to level 9 and play the full board. Attack speed and AD items on Ashe is quite good, and tank items on Amumu and Nautilus. AP and mana will go on the center, and if we are ending up on this board, the chance of getting a high placement in the game is really good when you look at level 9 compared to level 8. The last comp we have to look at is Heavenly, and here we're gonna play with Wukong as our main carry. Augments is still, if we can, we do gonna play it. It is really good, but else another emblem or specific one for Heavenly. So the items that we're looking for is bruiser items on Wukong and similar on Lee Sin. And then we're gonna have the AP, Manner, Reroll on Soraka. So I just want to say that this is quite a good comp, but there is an upcoming Chinese comp that we might gonna see very soon with Kain and Morgana. Normally we saw this comp plus a Yone to 3-star, and that's what we used to play around, but it seems like we're gonna play around these units very soon. We're not sure yet, but if there's gonna be the comp where it is the new meta, I'm gonna make a full guide on it. So if you want to see that, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And else just, if you want to see similar guides like this, tier list or specific comps, make sure to subscribe. And else just good luck on climbing and thanks for watching.